guys, it's Galaxy, and welcome to this video for winter's class for sociology. And today we will be learning about something that has to do with love. And love, I love love. Who doesn't love love? Especially furries. Furries love love because we love giving hugs. Some big hugs all around. So right now I'll turn it over to Winter, and she will be telling you stuff about what the theory of love is. And this theory of love is the wheel theory. Hello, it is Winter here, and Galaxy just introduced me to this video. She's going to be reading and helping me throughout this video as well. And I'm really excited to talk about the wheel theory and the 4 stages of love. Now, I ended up using my family, and most particularly my 2 parents, my mother and my father, and their story of their wheel theory, because my mom has actually written some poems about her and my father, and I just thought it was really interesting, and I would like to show off her work, which actually she has gotten published. She got one of her poems published. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over a few things on the wheel theory of the 4 stages of love for the sake of the academic reasons, and then Galaxy will go ahead and read you the poems. Alright, so my presentation, like I said, is on the wheel theory of the 4 stages of love. This theory says that love is maintained from 4 stages, which are rapport, self-revelation, mutual dependency, and intimacy / need for fulfillment, which all those things I asked my mom about, and she says that her and my dad sort of mash into that, so I chose them. The wheel theory was developed by Ira Reese, Ira Reese, I think, a sociologist who thought that like a wheel rolls, the stages that are on the wheel rolls and are repeated many times, which this could produce deeper and longer term relationships. Or at some point the wheel could end up stopping. And like I said before, for this example of the wheel theory, I'm going to use my mother and father and their relationship. So, number 1, rapport. Now, my parents both felt comfortable around each other, and they had the same kind of friends. They came from the same neighborhood, and were both high school graduates with trade school backgrounds. My mother's was in cosmetology, and my father's was in technology. They were both from Christian upbringing. However, the small difference is that my father was Catholic and my mother was Baptist. So they had similar ideals, but they weren't exactly alike. Both my parents came from multicultural backgrounds. My father was a Mexican, German, and Bohemian man, and my mother was a Native American, English, and Scottish, and Irish woman. So they had their differences, but just like how the rapport is maintained with the theory of like opposites attract, this is why I think that this ended up happening at some point because of their differences, because of the opposites attract theory. Both my parents were raised in different kinds of homes. My father was raised in a single-parent, neglectful home, and my mother was in a 2-parent household. However, it was an abusive and neglectful home. So it was slightly different, but still somewhat the same. So when my parents actually met, they felt really comfortable around each other because of all these similarities in their lives. And as time took on, because they started being friends and everything, they were comfortable with each other and they understood socially what each other was going through. So secondly, I want to talk about the second part of the wheel in this theory, and that would be self-revelation. So both my mother and father, they were very open with each other and all their future hopes and their dreams and stuff that they wanted to do as they went on in their lives. They ended up disclosing all of their feelings to each other, and as time went on, they found it easier to communicate with each other and wanted to know more about each other. As time went on, they felt it easier to communicate with each other and they wanted to know more about each other. They both had been through a lot during their childhood, and their painful pasts made them have a stronger desire to be each other's strength. So the third part of the wheel theory is mutual dependency. Both of my parents were mutually dependent on each other. This was apparent from sharing so much with each other in such a short time over the first few weeks of knowing each other. They shared pleasures and activities they liked to do, such as how my father liked to go fishing and play with RC cars. My mother would also be around and enjoy watching my father enjoy his activities. As for my mother liked to fly kites over by the lake, and she liked to go to the movies, and he would share that with her. So even though they liked different things, they still enjoyed the time that they had together, even if they didn't share an exact mutual liking to each other's hobbies. As each day passed, my mother and my father had more desire to be in each other's company. After they became a couple and began to date exclusively, now at this point in the relationship, most of their time wasn't technically with their friends anymore. They spent their time actually napping in my father's car or in between when my father was in college. They started doing things together more, and they ended up going out to eat a lot. They went to car shows and boat shows. They spent their time watching NASCAR races, and they went to outdoor shops and carnivals. They also liked taking walks down by the lake in Chicago. Interestingly, my parents had an 8-year age gap between them. This difference was not really a problem since my father was actually a very mature guy for his age. At this point, really, he had to take a role of like an adult male in the house of just him and his mother. So when his father had left the household, it was around the age of 6 years old maybe, and at that point all of the like manly house duties were placed on him. And because of it, when people saw him, they saw an older guy, and that's what my mother saw. So on the other side, my mother acted younger than what she was. She not only acted younger, she actually looked younger than her age, and she actually still does look younger than her age. So the age gap between them didn't really make a difference and was never really apparent to those around my mother and father at that time. At this point, my mother and father seemed the same age, so because of his advanced maturity and my mother's decrease in maturity at her age, they had a mutual desire and acceptance of each other's behavior because they were sort of the same but different. So the fourth thing I want to talk about, this is the fourth and last part of the theory of the wheel theory, and this is intimacy and fulfillment. So I will let Galaxy take it from here. These two poems were written by my mother, and this first one, which is called Food, P-H-O-O-D, The Love Degree, and was actually one of her best poems, and the first one that, like I said before, won an award in a creative writing contest in MVCC, which is the school that I'm in now. I'm not a writer myself, so I don't really know what a Skyway competition is, but she actually won a place in it. So, like I said, the Food, the Love Degree, I think I missed a part. It says PhD, Food, the Love Degree. I got this information from my mother. PhD, Food, the Love Degree was written to show both her desire to continue her education, but also to care for my father when he was not being cared for properly by his mother when it came to his nutritional intake in foods while he was eating during college. Basically, my father used to eat fast food every day, and it was making him unhealthy, and my mom saw this. So, she started to cook for him. So his mutual dependency on her was to keep him fed and healthy while he was finishing college, so he can get up every day and be a functional human being. The second poem is showing my mother's dependency on my father and how his presence in her life counteracted negative feelings with the positive ones. So I'm going to go ahead and let Galaxy read the first poem, which is PhD Food the Love Degree. Hi everyone, I'm back, and I will be reading the poem, like Winter said, PhD Food the Love Degree. And I think it's such a beautiful poem, so I'm gonna read it, and here we go. It's not just the same, not made by me. No, not the same without the love degree. Made by my 2 hands, blessed from above, taken from recipes passed down with love. God gave me the gift of woman and taste, to offer their recipes they taught not to waste. A moment while cooking, it's all in the plan, to tease the soft palate of your famished man. The kitchen, my gentleness, calm and my gift. I chop, dice, and wash, grate, slice, and sift. Mix up ingredients, blend in my grace. The feelings of joy with flour on my face. Each touch, every twist, a spatter, a spill. My time with each meal, a personal thrill. Cooking his favorites, I just watch him swoon. Praise comes so sweetly, I'm high as the moon. Taste, dip, and nibble, my abundant buffet. I stand and observe him, and not walk away. I prepare the great taste, feast to tickle his buds. I oogle his pleasure, my heart skipping thuds. He grins with pleasure in what I have done, makes me feel special. Oh, now I have won his graces for this deed. He's now in my hands. He melts now like butter. He nears me, he stands. Above me he looks down upon me with bliss. He bends down close to me, so softly a kiss. He thanks me with praises of contentment and such. He tells me he's thankful and loves me so much. My famished man, now contented, pleased. With his wife, I'm feeling quite special and will for all life. I've earned my degree of his love and desire, making food to his taste, that's all I aspire. Oh my God, just reading that poem gave me shudders. Oh, it's so beautiful. I love everything that makes my heart stutter. Did I just rhyme? Oh God, I'm turning to a poet, and I just knew it. Oh wait, there it goes. Whew, I'm safe. Alrighty. So, next poem. Poem 2. This is you to me and me to you. Oh my God, I gotta stop. So here we go. Poem 2. Inhale to my exhale. Rise to my fall. Beginning to my end. Live through it all. Light to my darkness. Clearing to my rain. Joy to my sadness. Comfort to my pain. Path to my journey. Calm to my storm. Lightness to my heavy. Cool to my warm. Steady to my trembling. Life to my loss. Love to my life. Silence to my toss. Happy to my sadness. Goodness to my bad. strength to my weakness, sane to my mad, deep to my shallow, summer to my spring, addition to my equation, total everything. That just got me in the feels! Ah! My heart, I can't take it. Oh my God. Reading those, it gave my heart stutters and shudders. It's so adorable, just like me. But I have had my turn in the spotlight here, and I will give it back to the student that made this amazing video and will do all the editing because I'm too lazy to do editing. So here she is, Miss Winter Wolf. Thank you, Galaxy, for that really great reading. Yeah. All right. Well, that was what I had for this project. It was videos explaining the wheel theory of love, and I used my parents for it. But for these poems, which I listened to my mother read it, and now I listen to Galaxy read it, so it was really nice to hear it again. And I don't know, Galaxy sort of overdone it with her acting methods. So hearing all these poems again, just quickly going through them. Food the Love Degree has a little bit of a few of the theories of the wheel theory in it. The needing him and him needing her. PhD Food the Love Degree has how my father relies on my mother for food and nutrition, and still does because my mom's the cook of the house. I also see a little bit of the fourth part of the wheel theory, intimacy and stuff like that. She gave little sexual innuendos, stuff like to tease the soft palate of your famished man with every touch, every twist, a spatter, a spill. Swooning him, or him swooning. Taste, dip, and nibble my abundant buffet. Yeah. Very interesting. Interesting. Weird to think about, because I'm their daughter. Anyway. But yeah, it's very loving. It shows the love my mom has for my father, and I just see it every day. That their love is just stronger as time goes past. With me having disabilities growing up, they still have been together till this point, and they're still going strong. My sister's in a wheelchair, so they have to deal with that. So many things have come up and tried to tear them apart, but they're like mended like steel. You cannot unmend them. You to Me, the second poem that Galaxy read, has things in it that are like, my mother cannot live without my father. Like, he is everything to her. Like, if she exhales, he inhales. The rise to my fall. She falls, he rises and helps her to rise with him. So the clearing to my rain, so if it's all rainy all over her, she's all rained and she's all dark and sad, she has joy and clearing and light coming to her with my father. Another thing I want to say is sane to my mad. I know how that works. So yeah, I would totally be nuts if I had to deal with someone like me. or Galaxy. I have a little bit of problems with her too. So in addition to my equation, total everything, like, he is her everything, and depends on him to keep her sane, and to keep her happy, and to keep her living life and steady, and all the things in the beginning of these parts. Calm to my storm, lightness to my heavy, love to my life. It's just, I really love everything here. So connecting to the poems that were just read, my mother depended on him for emotional stability, and he depended on her for his needs to be fulfilled. Since they were dating and they got finally married and everything, they had 2 children, obviously me and my little sister, which is in a wheelchair. I have disabilities, like I said before. They've had multiple child losses. I think my mom has miscarried like 7 siblings. They had to deal with a lot of things. They had many ups and downs in their relationship, and throughout the whole time of relationship and life, with all those ups and downs during all this other stuff that's going on, they've had each other to continuously support each other. This was through life, through educational goals, through life goals. But with that support and sympathy to each other, they were able to get through. So supporting each other through these educational goals and life goals, they still continue to support each other in hopes that my father will finally complete his PhD, and my mother will finally complete her master's and PhD. Each year, on, they show deeper love and support for each other, and the mutual dependency and exchange of needs continues, which in this situation of the wheel theory, this keeps the wheel moving forward for them. Therefore, according to Reese's wheel theory of their love, well, I think it'll be continuous and grow. As time passes on, I feel like their love will never break. They've been through thick and thin together already, and as I'm older now, I see it through like a grown woman's eyes, and I know that I feel like this wheel of my mother and father's love, it will continue to keep rolling until the end of all days. So that's it for this video. Thank you for sticking around and watching this video. Now I gotta go do a whole bunch of editing because Galaxy's too lazy to do editing. I am not too lazy to do editing, and you know why? Because I am the editor!